Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to be part 2 of episode 2 of how to take it apart. And what we're doing here is we are removing, we are sliding forward the barrel band and retention band here, and we're gaining access to the internal components of the magazine tube. Now the slide / pump / action bar cannot come off of the gun unless you further disassemble parts that are, for all intents and purposes, kind of permanently mounted in the receiver. And well, let's just say that unless you absolutely need to take them apart and you've got the proper tools to, which is going to take a small screwdriver and a lot of patience, just don't bother with it. You don't really need to do that. It's perfectly fine the way it is left alone. However, let's get started on this front here. It should be fairly quick. I'm just going to get a proper size screwdriver, and we're going to take this screw completely out. It'll instantly loosen up. Do not over tighten it, and make sure you use the proper size screw. You don't want to mar this screw up. So I'm going to set that aside, pull this forward. Now there's going to be 4 holes on this. 2 of them are going to have a screw. You'll see it there and there. And we're going to take a properly sized screwdriver, flathead, and we're going to get at the first one here. And I'm just going to press in on the magazine cap, pull this out slightly. Now they're very shallow screws, as you can see, very tiny little guy. Don't lose them. That one's a little monkeyed up. Whoever was previous owner of this gun before it came into my family obviously took this apart at some point and kind of was not using the proper size screwdriver. Pull the next one out. Now here's where the magazine tube wants to come off, and see how I've got my hand? You're going to want to do that too. Let it just come back gently, and depending upon your spring is going to depend upon how forcefully this thing wants to come out. That is one solid piece of milled steel. That is not a stamping or anything. That it adds to the heft of the gun, but I mean, that just screams quality right there. That's old craftsmanship quality. Okay, so pull spring out. There it is. And then tip it forward, and there is your magazine fowler. Now you'll notice this is a little bit floppy, so you want to be careful. You don't want to damage the tube at all. Now you can get down in there with a bore swab and swab that out, get all the debris out of it, give it a very light coating of oil with maybe a slightly lubricated patch, and it'll be all good. Now, I'm not going to cover this part in the reassembly video, so I'm going to do it here right now. This is a fairly quick video anyhow. Just going to reassemble it exactly the same way. Get your 2 sides lined up here with your screw holes. Get one screw in. Dog's crying again. She's already been put out. I don't know what's wrong with her. And this is the only tricky part about this operation, is getting these stupid screws to want to line up, stay in place, and then tighten down. The first one's the worst because you're trying to hold in the whole assembly and not lose it, and then cuss a bunch because you can't find your screw. Good part is that it can work with only 1 screw if need be, but 2 is obviously best. And of course, the second good part about these is that they're not going to get lost easily in the field, or they're not going to become clogged with dirt or be seized up by a lot of debris, because these are covered by the forward barrel band. So I've got them back in position. You want to move the barrel band over them, take your screw, and now the barrel is notched. It is a thick wall barrel, and is notched for the screw, so it has very good retention. It's not just sort of a whimsy, put it wherever and get it tightened down sort of deal, but it's a very fine fitted piece. And tighten it down until it doesn't want to go anymore, and leave it be. Don't over tighten it. It won't loosen up. Trust me, I've shot a lot of rounds through this thing before it ever would loosen up. And that's that. So tune in for part 3, which will be the reassembly of the action. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless, and keep your powder dry.